The Yache Youth Worldwide has held its second national congress with the theme Empowering the Yache Youth for Meaningful Development. The event took place at the conference hall of St. Charles Luanga Catholic Church, Calabar. Speaking on the theme of the conference, one of the keynote speakers, who is a lecturer in the University of Calabar, Dr. Eric Ogri, called on all Yache sons and daughters to position themselves for greater tomorrow by engaging in economic empowerment, political activities, as well as render voluntary services for greater opportunity.
Rural development is a very important thing in the 21st century that every community, every clime, every country and wherever, they clamor for development. So Yache should not be left out. So we are looking at how we can empower, especially the youth, for meaningful development. The youth and which are the leaders of tomorrow, need to position themselves for greater tomorrow. We need to go to school, and going to school does not mean that you have the money, but you just encourage yourself that you can make it. And then we need economic empowerment. We can help ourselves. Others, our leaders in Yache, can also help us. And I encourage my people to join politics. Not the kind of politics that, thuggery politics, but that kind of politics that you bring your wealth of experience to bear. To engage in voluntary services, you must not do something to be paid. By engaging in voluntary services, then you don't know how God can help you, who God can bring your way. Do anything to gain experience and move forward.
Speaking on drug abuse, Vivian Bassi, a psychologist and medical personnel, urged the youth to disengage themselves from illicit drugs as it leads to social isolation, violence, restlessness, and chronic diseases.
Drug abuse, like I stated earlier, has to do with the use of substances that are not medically or legally approved, or taking substances in doses not recommended. Drugs, of course, are used for medicinal purposes, but once you decide to use them for purposes outside what was prescribed, that is abuse of drug. And then we can talk about the effects of drug abuse. Of course, it's going to be very detrimental to the health. You're going to have an alteration of your mood, which some people unfortunately seek for. But that's not really good, because once your mood is altered, your brain functions are also altered, and you may not be in the right frame of mind, contrary to people's belief. If you get to meet someone who is a drug abuser, you may definitely see signs of discomfort, like they may have they may be on steady walks. For people who are drunkards, of course, when we see drunkards, we know them. And for others who use other drugs, like inhalants, like weed and all of that, they are prone to exhibit very risky behavior. They don't behave normally. They behave abnormally, actually. They are very uneasy. Most of them are socially isolated. Most of them are violent. Most of them are restless. So these are some examples. If you have anyone with a case of drug abuse, or anyone who is addicted, is a drug addict, first of all, the person has to accept. That is the first step towards solving this issue. Don't live in denial. Accept, open up that you have this issue, and then seek for counseling. You can look for medical counseling from NGOs or faith-based organizations. This will help you a whole lot.
There was a workshop section organized to deliberate on the way forward and development of the Yache people, in where various resolutions were made.
In my group, we discuss about how we can bring love, communal love to Yache. We agree on family reorientation. We have to go back to our family, various families, go back, unite ourselves, love ourselves. We agree on work. We agree that elders should learn to speak the truth, learn to encourage the youth. And we agree that we should learn to be submissive to us.
We agree that some of our values and heritage should be put into documentation, where the young growing one will have access to booklets, where even in diaspora our people can pick and read, agreed that it should also be put in a video where our younger ones can watch. And also we agreed that there should be a recurrent orientation. Maybe annually there should be an orientation so that the younger ones learn. We also agreed that after this Congress, we will collect all the researches in respect of our history, so we can adopt a single history that will guide and drive the mentality or an ideology of the Yache man.
I brainstormed in my group and we've come up with the way we can help and contribute to the development of Yache youth, both home and in diaspora. Is number one, we need to identify the needs of the people and know the needy amongst us. We also have to learn how to manage our resources well. And people will need to know where to channel their resources in order to bring out the best in their youth. We also talk about existing in love and unity. We must learn how to settle differences amicably. And also we talked about helping those that are young that want to acquire vocational skills. We need to find resources that can help them study so that they can become self-sufficient.
Earlier, some of the national leaders, ESCO members and stakeholders who intimated the press on the event said the National Congress is to bring the Yache people home and abroad under one umbrella.
He wants to bring all our youths nationwide together. Our aim and objective is to empower the youth, especially Yache in particular. As long as we are from Yache, you know we are the minority.
Our aim is to work for the peace, unity and security of our nation, Nigeria. We cannot just jump to the national for that aim. We always start from the grassroots, which is Yache. If we build a better community, which is Yache, we are going to have a better state. Yes, the message I have for Yache youth is to advise them to remain law-abiding. Looking around, I discovered that one of the most obedient and disciplined group of youth we have in our state and nation as a whole is Yache youth.
People look at us to be a minority, but today we can see that Yache is moving forward in both educations. If you go to all the higher institutions across the states, Yache nations are there. And now, we the people of Yache, we don't depend from only the government. We look into so many things to make things good for ourselves and to make Yache to develop.
We are here for a purpose, to rub mind concerning all the youths that are being elected, the new ESCO, to be trained, to make some proper adjustments in all our programs that we are embarking in this new year, because we are stepping into a new year now.
The purpose of this conference, us organizing this conference, is to make sure that we bring the Yache youth together, to make sure that we impart them, teach them to understand and to carry them along, to make sure that they get the understanding as to why they are brought into this world, as to why they come from the nation they are coming from, that is from their nation.
Mr. Eze Innocent thanked the participants and encouraged everyone to be an agent of positive change.
So with the outcome of today's interaction, I know our Yache youths are going to turn a new leaf. Youths are going to improve in how they live and ensure that their interaction with one another is for good. And with that, I think Yache youths will build up, will mold up from where we are or where we have been to the better. I have a little message for every Yache youth. The change begins with you as an individual. If you heard me say something inside the auditorium, I had reminded them that change begins with you. If you begin the change with yourself, you can talk change to the next person. And before you know it, becomes a global thing and everybody is changed for the better.
Samuel Diwa reporting.